Hi there, everybody. It's Caterina from Imagine Life Coaching, and today we're taking the Real Love course into a mini video about a really huge topic, which is codependent relationship versus interdependent relationships. So the first thing we need to know is what the difference is. Codependent relationships often have either poor or no boundaries whatsoever with people. They feel often feeling guilt or shame for not meeting their needs or expectations. That's the partner we're talking about. They're not meeting the partner's needs. Having no personal interests or goals outside of the relationship, depending on the partner for their happiness and their validation. So that moves into a whole another area, which is about the manipulative conversations and suggestions and that sort of thing that happen when codependent isn't getting what they want. They tend to turn to manipulation so that they can get what they want because they make the other person feel guilty. So emotional manipulation, making the other person feel guilty, and then they'll disagree with you. The partner will disagree with you because they are coming from maybe a different space. So also, the codependent will definitely try to control the other person's behavior, their life, and their choices. So it's very important to note the differences. So here's what an interdependent relationship looks like. And I'm so glad that years ago I stepped away from codependency and went into interdependent relationships of all kinds. I'm not just talking about intimate relationships, but that's definitely our focus here. I'm also talking about any relationship, whether it's family, friends, colleagues, all those kinds of things. An interdependent person who is in relationship, which we all are, has healthy boundaries. That person is going to set a boundary with a natural consequence for you. And if you cross the line as a codependent, they will probably go through with the consequence. And I hope they do, because that's the way it works best. If you don't follow through on the consequence, then you're just saying things and it doesn't really mean anything to the other person. Interdependent people do not hold unrealistically high expectation from themselves or from others. So anytime you set expectations of how a person is supposed to behave or relate with you or any of that sort of thing, you are attaching to an outcome that sometimes isn't possible. It's not really a good idea to set expectations of how another person will behave, what their journey is, or any of that stuff. So the interdependent relationship person is way ahead of the curve there. The interdependent person makes time for their own personal interests and self-care. This is key. If you are not doing this on day-to-day, you're really going to be messed up, whether it's around work or whether it's around catering to the person who is in relationship with you or the people who are in relationship with you. You have got to make time for self-care. Some people think I don't make enough time for self-care, and that's not the truth. Again, we have to think about what is going on there for sure. I absolutely do. And I wish that everybody who's in interdependent relationships would do that as well. The interdependent person does not depend on another person for their own happiness. They don't decide that this person is the person, the one that's going to save them, the one that's going to make them happy, the one that's going to see them through it. It doesn't work that way. You have to self-soothe. You have to be able to learn how to self-soothe and to create opportunities for yourself to find or seek, although I don't like those two words, but to notice. How about notice those pockets of joy in your life and bring that back to yourself, by yourself. You don't need another person to validate you in that way. It's really important for healthy relationships to be able to give each other space and time so that they can be themselves, so that they can be in their own space, their own mind, their own being, and their own thoughts for a while. It's nothing to do with you unless it goes on forever, like a month or two or whatever. Then you have to kind of think, okay, do I want to be in this relationship if they're not speaking to you at all? But what I'm saying is just throughout the day or at the end of the day, it's so important to just spend some time on your own and to reflect on the day and to process the day if you need to, and then get back to your loved one afterwards. Very, very important to have that sense of self and to stay within that for sure. The other one is to respect the other person's choices. They're interdependent people, respect the other person's choice, and they may be different choices than yours. And the interdependent person will not try to push you, shove you, or try to make you understand their way of doing it. It is your journey. These are your choices. And an interdependent person will never walk past that line. So these are just a few of the things that are so important about interdependency versus codependency. And it also comes to the attachment styles, which I have a whole program on now for people who have anxious or avoidant attachment styles. And if they want to work through that with me, then it's a good idea to book that session with me. Also, if you're wanting to step out of the codependency mode into a more interdependent relationship, there's a lot of work to be done around that. There's a lot of childhood trauma and that sort of thing, or childhood thoughts and modeling that needs to be addressed so that we can move into that interdependent relationship that you seek. All right, so that is my short little blurb for today. I hope you have a wonderful day and just get out there and enjoy. Talk to you soon. Take care.